Welcome back to the channel Coins Collector. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating stories in American coin collecting history. If you love rare coins, hidden treasures, and the thrill of discovering what a single penny might actually be worth, then you are going to want to stick around until the very end of this video. Because we are talking about the legendary 1988 Liberty 1-cent coin, a coin that on the surface looks like an ordinary penny but in reality could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin minted in 1988 has been valued in the modern market for as high as $335,000. This is not a rumor, this is not a myth, this is real history combined with rarity and collector demand. So let us step back and explore exactly what makes the 1988 penny so important. First, we have to remember that in the United States the penny has been one of the most iconic coins of all time. For decades the penny has carried the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or the front of the coin, and the reverse has gone through several design changes, from the wheat ears design to the Lincoln Memorial design, and later to the shield design that we still see in circulation today. By 1988 the penny was already a coin with a long history of small changes in minting, metal composition, and engraving. And as any serious coin collector will tell you, it is these small changes that can make the difference between a common coin worth face value and a rare collectible worth a fortune. Now the particular 1988 Liberty 1-cent coin that has drawn so much attention is not just any ordinary penny. It has a unique backstory involving what collectors call a transition error. A transition error happens when the United States Mint moves from one design to another or changes certain details of a coin, and in the process a small number of coins are struck using mismatched dies or older equipment. These errors are rare because they are accidents, but they are also highly desirable because they represent a true mistake in the history of coin production. When you find a coin like that, you are not just holding a piece of copper-plated zinc, you are holding a snapshot of history that slipped past the careful eyes of the minting process. In the case of the 1988 cent, the error involves the use of a reverse die from 1989 on a coin dated 1988. To the average person the difference is nearly impossible to notice. But if you look closely at the details of the Lincoln Memorial on the back of the coin, you will see that the style of the letters in the word America are slightly different, particularly the way the A and M are spaced. This is the telltale sign that the coin is what collectors now call the 1988 transitional variety. Because so few of these coins escaped into circulation, finding one today is like winning the lottery. And that is why the value has skyrocketed, reaching well into six figures at major auctions. Imagine for a moment picking up change at the grocery store, glancing down, and realizing that one of those dull copper-colored pennies is actually worth more than a brand new luxury car. That is the excitement that drives collectors to search through their pocket change and coin rolls. The idea that treasures are still out there waiting to be discovered keeps this hobby alive and thriving. And the 1988 Liberty 1-cent is the perfect example of how something so small can carry such enormous value, but let us dig a little deeper into the story. By 1988 the composition of the penny had already changed from its traditional copper to a copper-plated zinc core. This change happened in 1982 due to rising copper prices. From then on, pennies were made with 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. Even though the composition was standardized, the design still evolved. In 1989 the United States Mint introduced subtle changes to the lettering style and spacing on the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Most people never noticed these changes. However, the Mint accidentally paired a few of the new 1989 reverse dies with 1988 dated obverse dies. This slip created the famous transitional variety. Over time collectors began noticing these coins and realizing their rarity. At first they were just curiosities passed around at small coin shows. But as the years went on and more attention was drawn to the variety, auction houses began listing them, and prices climbed dramatically. The most famous examples have sold for over $300,000. And because demand continues to rise, the market value is not just a one-time spike. Collectors today are still paying enormous sums to add this elusive coin to their collections. So what does this mean for you, the viewer? It means that every penny in your pocket is worth a second look. It means that your old jars of change, the ones sitting in the closet or tucked away in a drawer, could be hiding something truly life-changing. And it also means that knowledge is power. The more you learn about what details to look for, the better chance you have of spotting a rare coin that others might overlook. Now let us talk about the current market. In recent years, the coin collecting world has seen a surge of interest not only from long-time enthusiasts but also from everyday people who are realizing that coins can be investments. Rare pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters are being bought and sold at higher levels than ever before. For the 1988 Liberty 1-cent transitional variety, the market price today is around $335,000 for coins in the highest grades. Even circulated examples, the ones that have been used in transactions and show wear, can still bring in impressive sums. That is why this coin has become legendary in the numismatic community. When you hold a coin like this in your hand, you are holding a story. You are holding the story of the mint worker who accidentally paired the wrong die. You are holding the story of the first person who noticed something was different about the spacing of the letters. You are holding the story of collectors and auction houses who recognized its importance and preserved it for history. And ultimately, you are holding a piece of American culture, because coins are not just currency, they are symbols of who we are, where we have been, and what we value. So as we begin this journey into the 1988 Liberty 1-cent coin, I want you to remember that every rare coin has a lesson to teach us. The lesson of this penny is that small mistakes can lead to extraordinary treasures. The lesson is that attention to detail can uncover hidden value. And the lesson is that even something as common as a penny can rise to unimaginable worth when history and rarity come together. Stay tuned, because in this video we are going to break down the details you need to know. We will show you exactly how to identify the transitional variety. We will explore why collectors are willing to pay so much money. And we will take a closer look at how the coin market works today, so you understand how values are determined and why they keep climbing. So welcome back once again to the channel. Get ready to uncover the story of a 1-cent coin that turned into a 6-figure treasure. This is the world of the 1988 Liberty 1-cent USA coin, and the adventure begins right now. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of American coinage, a story that connects history, rarity, and astonishing value. We are talking about the 1996 Liberty 1-cent coin from the United States. At first glance, this coin might look like nothing more than the everyday penny we have all held in our hands 1,000 times. It is small, copper-colored, light in weight, and often overlooked. But hidden within this coin is a story of incredible worth, a market price that has shocked collectors, and a journey through time that reveals how something so ordinary can become something extraordinary. The 1996 Liberty 1-cent is not simply pocket change. In fact, in today's collector market, certain examples of this coin have been valued at up to $255,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny, worth 1 cent when it was minted, has transformed into a treasure worth more than $250,000. That kind of figure makes collectors search their jars of coins, look through old rolls of pennies, and examine every piece of change with a magnifying glass. The story behind this coin is captivating, and today we are going to break it all down. We will talk about the history of the 1996 Liberty 1-cent, the design, the possible minting errors, and why collectors are willing to pay such enormous amounts for a coin that most people pass by without a second thought. Now let us start by looking at the background of the United States 1-cent coin. The cent, often called the penny, has been part of American currency since the late 18th century. Over the years it has featured different designs, from the flowing hair to the wheat reverse, from the Indian head to the Lincoln portrait. The image of Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the cent in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of his birth, and since then the Lincoln design has remained a staple of American money. By 1996, the cent had been struck in huge numbers, billions upon billions, making it one of the most common coins in circulation. So why is the 1996 Liberty 1-cent coin so special? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and error. While billions were minted, certain rare variations and minting anomalies can transform a common coin into a gem worth a fortune. Collectors know that when a coin has an unusual strike, a doubled image, a misaligned die, or other unique features, its value skyrockets. The 1996 penny has been reported to include such rare versions, coins struck with unusual features that make them almost one of a kind. Combine that with the right level of preservation, such as a coin graded in mint state condition by a professional service, and you have the recipe for a six-figure value, but history adds even more flavor to this story. Think back to 1996. It was the era of booming technology, the early rise of the internet, and the final decade of the 20th century. Collectors often look at coins not just as money but as historical snapshots. The 1996 Liberty cent carries with it the symbolism of that era, the continuation of the Lincoln design, and the resilience of the 1-cent coin in a world where inflation had already reduced its everyday purchasing power. Holding a 1996 penny today is like holding a memory of the past, and when that penny happens to be one of the rare high-value versions, it becomes both history and treasure in your hand. Now let us focus on the market value, because this is where things get truly exciting. The coin market is driven by supply and demand, rarity and condition, and the stories collectors tell themselves about ownership. A 1996 Liberty 1 cent in average condition is worth only face value. You can still find them in circulation, in change at the grocery store, or in old coin jars. But if you discover a rare version, the kind recognized by grading companies, you could be looking at a small fortune. In auctions and private sales, rare 1996 Liberty 1 cents have reached prices of over $200,000. One of the most publicized sales placed the value around $255,000, a staggering number for such a small piece of copper-coated zinc. Think about that for a moment. A coin that most people overlook, a coin that many would throw into a change jar without a thought, has the potential to pay off debts, buy a home, or fund an education. That is the magic of coin collecting. It turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. It makes us look more closely at the objects around us, and it teaches us that history, rarity, and passion can combine into something truly valuable. Collectors today are constantly on the hunt. They search through rolls of pennies from the bank, they study the fine details of the Lincoln portrait, the words Liberty and In God We Trust, the year 1996 stamped below the profile. They look for doubling in the lettering, unusual spacing, mint marks that appear off-center, or striking errors that occurred when the coin was pressed. Every detail matters, and every variation can mean the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars. What makes the 1996 Liberty 1 cent even more appealing is the fact that it is still recent enough that people can realistically find it in circulation. Unlike coins from the 1800s, which are almost impossible to discover in daily life, a 1996 penny is common enough to be in your pocket right now. That gives everyone, from seasoned collectors to curious beginners, a chance at striking gold. The dream of finding that one rare coin keeps the hunt alive. Another important aspect is grading. Professional grading services examine coins under magnification, checking for luster, strike, and preservation. A coin that has never been circulated, a coin that remains in pristine condition with no scratches, dents, or discoloration, can earn a high grade such as MS68 or even higher. Once a coin reaches those grades, especially if it includes a unique error, the value increases dramatically. That is why collectors emphasize storage, protection, and careful handling. Even a small scratch can reduce the value by thousands of dollars. So as we welcome you back to this channel and into this exciting story, remember that the world of coins is not just about metal and numbers. It is about history, rarity, mystery, and value. The 1996 Liberty 1 cent is proof that treasures still exist in plain sight. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or someone just starting out, the lesson is the same. Always check your change, always look twice, and never underestimate the value of what you hold in your hand. In this video we are going to explore this coin in even greater detail. We will show you what to look for, the key features that set apart a rare 1996 Liberty penny, and the steps you can take to evaluate your own collection. We will discuss the auction results, the stories from collectors, and the expert opinions that explain why this coin is so special. And of course we will continue to bring you the latest updates on market trends, because in the world of numismatics, values can rise and fall like waves, and being informed is the key to success. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. This is not just a story about a penny. It is a story about possibility, discovery, and the excitement of finding something rare where you least expect it. The 1996 Liberty 1 cent may be small in size, but in terms of value and history, it is larger than life. And today, we are going to uncover every detail, every fact, and every reason why this tiny coin can be worth as much as $255,000 in the market today.